My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to another edition of Knowledge Vault. We are currently reading Handbook for the New Paradigm. We are in Volume 2, Embracing the Rainbow, and this is session number 20. The avenue of entry into the minds and, most important of all, the hearts of humanity lies not so much through logic as through the emotions. The great playing card of the deceptive plan has been the emotion of fear. Subliminal guidance is the first layer of control. Then more layers are added to achieve control of whatever focus is desired. The last and most effective leverage of all is fear. Fear is the most creative of thought forms in the negative aspect. That's interesting, and I would agree with that because of the oomph of intensity and emotion that, or I'll just say power, that resides within fear. Love is the most creative in the positive expression. The reason these are at the top of the scale in the human focus is the rate of the vibration of emotion that accompanies each. Now, that makes a lot of sense. The degree in which the human can experience these depends upon the range in which each has experienced them. Thus, you can understand the reason for the deliberate proliferation of horror, war, and the gangster type movies. These have been deliberately promoted for the express purpose of increasing the experiencing range of fear. Those films that pass for, quote, love experiences usually contain great feelings of remorse and sadness, as well as more subtle experiences of fear. The technological societies of the planet have little experience with what true love really is. Boy, that's a true statement. And apparently my phone agrees. Fed a diet of sexual-based, unfulfilling relationships as love, it is no surprise that family life has reached a disastrous level for so many. Every negative aspect is paraded as the norm. Wow. And that was true when this was written more than 10 years ago. Just as each individual is a human becoming, so also each relationship and family is an entity becoming, formed by the combination focus of the two or more included within it, with no agreed upon ideal purpose and few of the character traits necessary to carry each through the experience. The only answer seems to be the experience of a stream of beginnings and endings. And how many of us out there, including myself, have experienced all of that? In contrast, those who have had what is called near-death experiences return to their conscious realities with regret for having to return, and an overwhelming experience of what they term love. These were experiences of the energies that emanate through the creative focus that maintains and expands this galaxy. It is, when analyzed, if that is even possible, the action of the universal laws to their full extent: attraction, intention, and allowance, resulting in the harmony of balance. This focus is supported by an even greater focus of these laws in action. It is the added presence of harmony that seems so intensely pleasant in those brief experiences. I have experienced that, so I know what they're speaking on there. And it is very brief. It is not difficult for each to be in the experience of the negative situations that are there at every turn in the search for respite from stressful living. One need only to close the eyes and check the true feelings in the midst of an adventure movie to know these inner feelings are not harmonious. It is the balancing experience of the opposite, the harmonious vibration of creation that brought forth each self-aware conscious entity and maintains each and all through a continuing focus of that same energy that is overwhelmed by deliberate diversion from it. This is not because this marvelous energy isn't available. It is that the conscious awareness is too cluttered to find the quiet space within to experience it. If it cannot be even slightly experienced, how indeed can it be drawn in or attracted and focused into expression and greater experience of it? In order to truly experience it, it must flow through the conscious awareness and be refocused into the birth of greater expansion. In other words, to know love, it must be attracted, encompassed, and expressed outwardly through both acknowledgement and outward transference of it. In this process, it is magnified and flows with the creative expression. That is how each comes into being and creates the opportunity to become. The sexual, romantic, hugging, and kissing love, that's in quote, love, that has been programmed as love, is not the love that creates and maintains physical galaxies and uncountable beings becoming. Just as the word God conjures up all kinds of negative reactions because of its false and confusing uses, and is best avoided, thus the word love has been avoided within these messages. Instead, flow of creative energies, etc., has been substituted. I've said that a lot. Love is probably the most misunderstood word on the planet. And what I mean by that also is that it is, like everything else, self-informed. Your definition of love is different than my definition of love, is different from this definition of love, is different from that one's over there, and it can be no other way. The people who have had near-death experiences return to conscious awareness with a true understanding of the feeling experience that the word love was intended to convey. Brief glimpses of it are experienced. Sometimes, but not always, a mother's first experiences with a new baby, couples who have shared long lives together reach that level of regard for each other. There are rare appreciative times of nature, to name a few. These are intense moments of an emotional vibratory level that is called enlightenment or ecstasy. These are so strange and unfamiliar to most of the humans on this planet that the few able to attain and maintain it become quote, saints. If this state of empowerment becomes known, it is the level at which manifestation of thought is so natural that seemingly impossible feats are accomplished. It is compared to the norm on this planet. Quote, super consciousness. However, in other human experiences on other planets, it is normal life expression. The point of this discussion is an attempt to explain to a small degree what mankind on this planet is missing out on. What you are experiencing as manifested life is a poor substitute for what it was intended to be. What is being offered is an opportunity to take what was intended to take advantage of the doorway of, quote, grace, an offer of a favor, a special dispensation. Accepting this will allow the opportunity to bridge the gap of lost normal evolvement that should have been accomplished in the time spent in this dead end experience. This is available to all mankind on this planet, not just those transplanted humans. The effects of intervention and denial of free will choice ripple outward, and the sequential results are not known. Even this special privilege may bring effects that are not anticipated, though careful consideration has been given before making this privilege available. If the inhabitants of Earth choose not to accept the opportunity, then it is a moot point. Those that have sat through hours and hours of teaching or preaching within religious institutions may find some of these messages reminiscent of those experiences. These are not meant to be so. These are meant to bring as many considerations as possible before the conscious awareness in order that the focus of thought may be guided through a decision process that will allow for logical conclusions and commitment that will not be regretted. The commitment to the birthing of a new paradigm requires courage and tenacity, for the time of chaos is necessary, as long as that which does not serve this branch of humanity's evolvement remains intact. It is impossible to birth something of total newness. Chaos, order, chaos, followed by a new form of order, is the flow of creation. It is creation living itself, for creation is aware and is life. Oh, I've said that a lot. I've always felt like everybody tries to ascribe persona to source, to God, to the all that is, much like our own, ascribing, well, this is what is thought, or that is what, it means to be that, or whatever. And that is such an unknowable. I keep being shown it is aware, and it is simply life. It is not the exact kind of awareness like we have. It's a different sort of awareness. At any rate, that's the end of this session. I'll be back with number 21. So to all those who are interested, if you're hearing this one for the first time, this is the second in a 3-volume set. Each set is on a playlist. At least on Sassy C or Sheila, it is on a playlist. At the other locations, it may just reside in the Knowledge Vault. Not sure. But you can start this book from the beginning with me if you'd like. Handbook for the New Paradigms, volumes 1, 2, and 3. So until next time, be well, my friends, and move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself.